Good morning or good afternoon. It's afternoon for me right now, but it's morning for you or some of you. Anyway, hello and welcome back. I am working on a new journal, and this is with the Hortensia paper by Stamperia, and I absolutely adore this paper. This will be a new kind of journal for me, so it should be interesting. This is what it looks like. I'm going to push out a little more here so you can see it and see more of the mess on my desk. But let's take a look at Hortensia. Okay, so this is the inside cover right here. I have 2 packs of this paper. This one has lots of, like Stamperia always does. They have, like Stamperia always has, or do, or has, yeah. Anyway, lots of little quotes and stuff. So that's really nice. So I will be cutting some of these out for this journal. And this is the next page. And on the reverse, look at that, isn't it magical? It's just beautiful. I love this paper. And take a look at that. Isn't that incredible? I absolutely adore it. Here's the back of that one. I love this. The polka dots, the wood, the combination of colors that they put together. And I love the text and the stuff in here. It's just really wonderful. And of course I love the pinks and the purples together and the blues. Yum. So here's the next page. Isn't that magnificent? She's so pretty. And here's the back of that one. And the next paper. Just beautiful. And the back of that one. Very pretty. Just love the magical colors. And this one, the hydrangeas in the window. Little letter written here. How beautiful. And the back of that one. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I just love the greens and the purples and the butterflies and the scroll work. And here's the next sheet. Look at this bird. He's all quilt-like, really pretty. And looks like quilt blocks in the background. And this one, very beautiful. And this one. And the back of that one. Just a real pretty stripe. And then this one. Can't you see a lot of book covers on this one? Wowie. And the back of that one. Just magnificent. Here are the tags that are included. You have to cut them out, of course. And on the back of the tag is this beautiful striped effect of what looks like fabrics or material. And then some little photo boxes. And the back of that is this beautiful green. It reminds me of the old green that was in my grandmother's house, and this little patterning reminds me of an apron that she had hanging up. Really pretty. And then here is a place where you can cut these different pieces out, and a little border down here. But how beautiful this is to add to this journal. And then of course the back. Now I do have to tell you, I like to use these little squares on the back of Stamperia to make tabs. So that's just something to think about. And of course you have this extra stripe. And because I have 2 packs of paper, if I need some tabs, I may draw from the back of these to get my tabs. And they make perfect tabs. So that's the paper pack. And what else do I have to go with the paper pack? Well, I have some chipboard. And I'm not going to take it out of the package because usually these pop out, but sorry about the reflection. So we have the chipboard pieces. Let me set these back here. And then I have these die cuts. And they're just another, like a chipboard cutouts. They're die cut, so that's what they call them. So these can also be used on the cover of the album. Some very pretty ones. Oh, there's some butterflies too. There's a lot in here. Does it say how many? It really doesn't on that part. 45 pieces. So you have some little dragonflies. You know, the nice thing about this is that if you want to use all your paper in your pack, it looks like all of these printouts, quotes and stuff are right here. So you can use your whole pack. But if you don't want your journal to be fat and fluffy, I like a fluffy journal, but this one is going to be different. I may not want it as fluffy this time. So you know, the cutouts, since they are quite thick, you know, they're like a 1/16 of an inch thick there, you may not want to put the chipboard and the cutouts on it because it might get too fat and fluffy. But we'll see. We'll make a decision as we get closer to what is happening in the book, in the journal. Let me put those back there. The other thing I bought for my cover is I bought some rice paper, and I couldn't decide which one I liked best. So I have some different ones here, and I'm considering these for the cover because the rice papers, actually, it's pretty heavy duty. Now this is a big one. It's let's see, about 16.5 by 12. So you can get a couple of good book covers out of that one. And this one, you know, you could go this way with it and you could have your front and your back cover. So I have that. And these were the extra pieces. I went ahead and kept those out because I was not sure if I would use the chipboard pieces or not, or if I wanted to keep it as thin as possible, because this is unlike any journal I've ever made. So it's definitely different, and you'll see that in a moment when we start talking about it. So, but I did keep these 3 out. Of course, I wouldn't be able to use that for anything else. And if I used the backs of them, then I would have to cover this side because it wouldn't work in the journal. Same way here. So I went ahead and kept all those out so I can cut those things out. Now I have this. Just a moment. Then I have, this is Almond Color linen paper, and it's 32 pounds. Now, it's a resume paper, so it's really not super thick, but it is absolutely beautiful. And the color is almond, but I think it goes extremely well with the paper line. So I really like that about it. Now one side of this is quite textured, and the other side is smooth. So just note that if you decide to buy something like this. And I'm going to leave this open, but I'm going to send it off to that side. And I just cleaned up from the quilt blocks, oh my. And I put them all into a box, and it is waiting for me to come up with an idea for the quilt journal. This is not it. Okay, so now what I have done, and this was just my practice, is I have cut my paper, because it's 12 by 12, I cut it in half. So I cut it at, what, 6 inches? Yep. And then I cut this side down to fit the 11-inch paper. So on the inside here I have, it's less than 11 inches because I had to square it off because the papers start, you know, navigating out. So I have created signatures here. I'm not going to use this paper that's in here. I'm going to use that for another book because I found this almond color and I absolutely love it. So let me tell you how many signatures this has. You can see how much I ended up having to cut off right there to make it fit with the, to make a little journal that'll be, it'll be 5.5 by 6. 6 by 5.5. So, how many signatures do I have? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry if I'm off. 5, 6. I don't know if I'm going to use all these. 7, 8, and 9. I don't know if I will use 9. I'm thinking maybe I'll go with the 8. But we'll wait and see. So, what I've done is, I told you I cut it in half. And then the center of the signature is the other half, turned out the other way. So, 1, 2, 3, I think I only need about 4 on the inside, plus there'll be this one, and that one, and this one. So that would be, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each signature would have 12 pages in it. Okay, so let's just see what we have here with this paper. I want to put the textured piece on the outside of this one. think I have 2. Felt like 2. And I'm just going to carefully fold it over and crease it carefully. Always start carefully. And I want to cut out 4. I want to make 4 of these for the first signature. Now I don't know if that's the order they're going to be in yet. So let's just make some signatures here really quick. 2. 3. And number 4. Okay, I'm going to put these one inside the other. Or put one on the outside of the other, either way. There we go. Going to push them into each other. And then I'm going to take the front cover. I'm going to line up the top. I want it to be the exact same size as the signature. And you can see it almost fits perfectly. By not using too many pieces of paper in the signature, it actually lines up quite well. But I am going to slice it right there. My end camera. I'm going to slice it right at the bottom of this. And then I'm going to try and even that up right there. Now to do that, I could use my rotary cutter, but honestly I think that for something like this, a knife works really well. And if I'm careful and I don't cut myself and bleed all over my paper, this one does not have a, you can see it get a little cut already. Excuse me about my nose. I have allergies and it is an allergy day for me, I tell you. Okay. So I'm going to line that right up with that paper. I don't want to cut any more of this paper, so I'm going to be careful. I'm going to run my blade right along this edge of the ruler. This is a nice metal ruler. It's meant for this to happen with it. So let's go ahead and give that a try. You are just going to apply a little pressure and slice. Apply a little pressure and just take it easy, because it's not going to cut through as fast as you want it to. It does get harder to cut through it as the top papers become loose. Keep your fingers out of the way. It's important not to let this finger slip into the... So then we have this. Now that can be a little notebook somewhere. There's no waste in it, that's for sure. Now I'm going to cut off. I'm going to make sure I line this up right on the edge of my top paper. Right on the edge of it. I don't want to cut through it. The only thing I want to cut through is my linen papers underneath. So let's see if I can do it. Once again, the same way. Make sure you're holding firmly down with this hand so your ruler doesn't move, or so that you don't accidentally shove it with this one. You'll end up cutting yourself. So you'll have to be careful. Only use a knife if you're comfortable with it. Otherwise, use your paper cutting blade, that your rotary cutter or whatever you have that you're comfortable with. I'm just more comfortable doing it this way, and I did get a little bit of my bottom paper down there. Might be because it was cut wrong in the first place. Yeah, because it looks even now. There we go. We now have a signature. Now take this one and insert it inside, but make sure it's not upside down like this one is. Turn it the correct direction. Put it in the center. And there we are. One signature is done. So I'm going to set this over here until I decide exactly how I'm going to set my signatures up. I think probably this is going to be my cover one, my front signature, or maybe this one. Haven't decided yet. So I need to remove this paper, and like I said, it will become another journal for another book. I have a lot of Stamperia paper that I need to use up. I'm going to set that blade up there so I don't cut myself on it. It is extremely sharp. My husband actually trusted me with a sharp tool. Yay! No, I am glad I have it. It's one of the best blades I've ever had. I hope it stays sharp. So it works really well. So I need 4 of these. And I hope I am recording. I'm sure I am. You might hear my fan going. This room gets really warm in the afternoon. It picks up the sun coming in the south window here, and wowza. It's like Roast City. Now this journal is going to be pretty much a writing journal. And it's not going to have a lot of junk journal stuff in it. I am going to put some tags and stuff in it. I believe that I will put them probably, I'll probably make pockets or something on these pages here, because we have, say, 4 pages for each signature that we can put something on. So that's probably where they'll go. But we just kind of have to put the book together and see if it'll work. So once again, I am trying to use up at least 1 pack of paper. Now, I do have 2, just in case I need the second one. So we have all these lined up. And I've already cut this signature down. And we're going to line those up at the top. Yep, that's going to work. Nice and tight there. Keeping them pressed down. Bring your blade over. And please be very careful. I'm trying to stay in camera. Sorry if I get off a little bit. You want this lined up right on the edge, like I said before, the edge of your paper, so you're not cutting the cover. Holding your ruler firmly, it does cause cramps in your hands sometimes. So if you have arthritis, doing it this way may not be for you. It's only 4 sheets, so you can probably slice it right on your tabletop cutter, the Fiskars or whatever it is you have. Boy, that one came off quick. Okay, turning it, keeping it all tight together. You don't want it to get loose. And then holding it firmly, you're going to go against your knife blade, against your edge of your ruler. So I still have some that are not quite cut down right here. I can feel that it's off just a little bit. Let's take a look. I think it's going to be okay. Okay, so there we have our second signature. Let's put it over here. Should we do another one? Oh. Wait, we have to put the center signature in. Not upside down. Now this is the one I couldn't decide if I wanted to use it because it cuts the lady off. So let me take her out and let me see if I have another signature that is off a little bit. Those are okay together. So I may have to cover that one and cover that lady up. This one's okay. I think this one is okay. That one's good. This one's good there and there. That one's good. And that's good. So I think maybe what I will do, I love the hydrangea. It is sideways in this picture. So maybe one of these other signatures would be better for it. And maybe this is the 8th one that we might not use. It's okay though having it sideways here. And this is okay if we cover the lady. I mean, we could have her go this way, I guess. And then when you open up the front middle signature, there she is. Let's see. Let's take a look. That would be okay. We just have to sew through her when we sew our book in. Okay, we'll use it that way. She'll just become a centerfold. Shh, don't tell anyone. There we go. This is the one I was thinking might be an extra. It's so beautiful though, I just love it. Okay, now these I do not have cut down to the paper size. Isn't that pretty? So beautiful. Oh, first let's do the signature. And originally I had 5 pieces of paper per signature. And I opted to go down to 4 because I had a thick front cover and a thick middle cover. I think this paper will be lovely to write on. Make sure you crease that carefully. You really don't want to crease it too fast and too hard because the paper will crack. Okay, let's see here. Come here, little peeper. Whoops, don't flip that the wrong way, Ange. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now, how did I do that, you might say, and I'll say, I don't know, I don't remember. Well, what I did was I marked my top paper. Let's see if I can explain this. I marked my top paper even with this first linen page on both sides. Now let me get a sharp pencil. This is where I can tell you, use a sharp pencil for your best point. And really, I don't think we need to mark, you only need to mark the top cover with your linen, and then you're going to cut this one when you cut this one. So lining this up with the top linen sheet, and it really is hard to tell where it's at. If it helps, you can stick another colored paper under there, or coffee dyed paper, just anything, right under that first sheet there, and that shows you where you're going to put your first line, right there. Make a mark, bring this down to the bottom, make sure it's tight in the signature, lining it up. Nice straight line on the linen. The paper is so fine and the light is pretty bright right here. Make another mark. Now you have your two marks. So come back in and insert the middle signature. We can run this all the way to the bottom or all the way to the top. Either way. Whichever way makes you most comfortable. Because we have our lines on here now, we are ready to cut. Use my ruler to tamp that down in there. Okay. Now I can tell you it will be easier to do it the other way. Now, at least for me, a righty, a right-handed person. Oops, I don't want to bend my pages. Making sure it's all even at the top. We already know we're going to cut where we're going to cut the front. Let's figure out where we're going to cut the bottom first, because there is no sense in cutting through this paper up here this way and cutting that little tiny piece off. So let's cut the bottom off first. only lining up on the top paper. I can see underneath here my center signature is showing. I know that it's even up here, but it isn't down here, so we'll cut it off. So it might take it a little bit to get through it again this time. Okay, ready? Here we go. Make sure your thumb is out of the way. You can put a thimble over it if you need to, or a leather cover, something that a knife won't go through. If you're concerned about cutting yourself. And there we go. Oh, these are going to make nice little books. Very sweet. And what I like about it is it's really lightweight. So it will go through a signature nicely. Go into a signature nicely to keep it more flat in your journal. Okay, lining up on that line, top and bottom. Once again, holding tight with your hand. If your arm's getting tired, it's time to stop. Ready? Okay, here we go. Save that. It's a nice strip. Uh-oh. I got off on mine. I didn't keep it tight. My arm is getting tired. Okay, let me peel that strip right there. Lining it back up carefully. Almost there. That should have done it. Okay, so our next signature is done. Oh, this is going to be pretty. I may round the edges. I haven't decided yet, but you know, it seems like a good idea. There is, I think that might be our top signature. I really like that one. Let's make sure our inside paper is the right way. Yes, it is. These signatures, I'm going to do a different stitch on. And they are all going to be bound into a book with probably glue on this side. So it's going to be a little different, but they are going to be stitched together. I think it's called the Kettle Stitch that I'm going to use, but I'm not quite sure yet. We have to wait and see. I mean, right now that's a nice thick book, but that's not what I'm thinking. So we have 3, and we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and we took one out. Right, we took that one out. Oh, she's pretty too. And that Isn't that beautiful? So let's see. She might be the cover. Don't know. This probably should be the cover. It's the one that has the Hortensia word. Okay, well, let's do one more on camera. You probably don't need to see one more. You've seen 3. So, what's going to happen here is I'm going to take my top signature, and I do want it to be this one, so, and I'm going to mark off my signature blocks every inch or so, and then I'm going to sew through them, and then I'm going to sew through the next one and sew it to the top one, and then this one's going to get sewn to that one, and it'll be bound to the one by it. So you can see it's making a book. And then as I add the signatures, then that's the way they'll go. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a nice journal. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, I'm back. All the signatures are ready to go. So now I'm going to just show you, so if you want to make this and stay up with me, we'll work together on it. What I have done now is I have marked my top signature off, or my bottom, which one? Well, this is my bottom signature, so whatever signature you're going to use, top or bottom, don't choose the center. That's the one you're going to use to measure all the other signatures. So I marked it off at a 1/2 inch to start with, right here on the edge, so I'm going to be able to see it. And then I marked 1 1/2, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 1/2. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches in this one signature. Okay? Then put that one on top that you have measured. Put your books all together. Make sure they're nice and tight where they need to be. I'm going to turn this sideways and upside down for you, and it is for me as well. And I'm going to take my ruler. Whoops. This would be better if I could squish them between something, but I don't have a between something. Okay, I'm going to have to turn it towards myself, sorry. Or I might have to stand up and press on it. Or maybe I'm just being too rough. Okay. So stand your ruler up, nice and straight. Push your books against it. And at that 1/2 inch mark, run a line up the whole thing. Make sure each one is marked. Well, make sure you're not off too. Let's see, I wonder if I have a better pencil in here that would work. I probably don't. But I did earlier. What did I do with that? So you're back with me, right? I wonder if the white would work. Figures my black one isn't sharpened. Let me try the white. Okay. Keeping them all intact. Line up your ruler on your books. It's kind of hard when you don't have them bound into something. Let me see if this white one works. I think it does kind of work, but and you move this down your spine. Every one of these 1.5 inch or every 1 inch marks. Okay, so there we are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 signatures, and I did end up leaving this one out. When we come back, I will have the holes punched in each of these, and I'll have it evened up. I think for me, I'm going to have to use a template and just punch through the template in each of the places. And then I'll have it right. This way is okay, but it's a little harder, I think. I think it's easier to use a template for me, because you can see they're off. So, yep. Okay, well, when we come back for our next video, we will record, I will be recording, I'm not going to record punching the holes. You've probably seen that before, or will see it again on mine, or you can go back and look at one of my videos and it'll show you that how I'm doing a 3-hole or a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. This one is going to be called the Kettle Stitch, and it will start with, I don't know if it starts with the top signature or the bottom, but I have to think about that. I have to think on my own. But when we come back, I will show you partially the Kettle Stitch, and then I'll go ahead and stitch the rest of it up until I get to the last signature. Then I will show you the rest of the Kettle Stitch and the tying off. I will see you tomorrow with a new way of stitching your signatures together. Ta-ta for now. Thanks for joining me. Bye.